Years ago, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was stationed in Hawaii. I know, rough life, but uh, I was stationed on Oahu, and of course, being an artilleryman, you don't want to blow up Honolulu or Waikiki Beach. So we would go to the Big Island of Hawaii, and would get there at Hilo, and then would take our trucks and things, and we'd go all the way up and to a saddle, a base. It was an army base actually that we would utilize for blowing stuff up. Because if you ever been to Mauna Kea, Mauna Loa, there's a saddle between those, and it pretty much looks like the moon, all the lava rock and all that stuff. So it's a great place to blow stuff up because there's nothing out there. So anyway, we'd go out there and would spend a week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks doing training, and would be out there and would be blowing the stuff up, and would camp under the stars, of course, and all that. And being in artillery, I was in a towed division, and a towed division means that you tow or you pull behind you on a trailer our artillery piece. Well, they have shelter halves, which is basically half of a tent, and then you put two of them together and you got a full tent. But most artillery guys, we don't do that. What we do is we just kind of hang out somewhere unless the weather's really really bad, the inclement weather or something like that. And we had the old mummy bags where the green mummy bags where you get in and you get to zip it all the way up, because I know that Hawaii has the reputation for being warm and gorgeous, and it is. But when you are up 10,000 feet in the air, think about Denver and a mile-high city. We were at nearly 2 miles in the air. It's cold, so you want to stay fairly warm. Well, anyway, those of us that had been around in the service for a while always made sure that when a newbie comes along, a rookie, a boot, that we'd give them advice and on how to do things. Now, honestly, we'd also harass them a little bit, but a lot of our advice was very good. And one of the things we told all of them is, when you go to bed, get in your mummy sack. Don't have any food in there, especially any open food. And the reason why is because, although this area was pretty desolate, there were some wild boars that ran around, and you don't want anybody sniffing up an animal sniffing you around and all that when you've got food in your thing. So we go to bed one night, and I'm just almost all the way under. I'm about ready to start just really having a good night's sleep. And I hear, ah! The scream. And I hear the scream over and over again. So I unzip my bag and I jump out, and along with a couple dozen other Marines, and we're looking out. And over there in the side, we see this sack, this mummy bag being dragged along by the snout and the little horn of this wild boar. So of course we all go running around, and we finally catch the hog, and we get the guy out, and this young man is all bruised and bumped and has all these abrasions and all that. And what he had done is he decided to have a bag of chips, and he didn't finish the bag of chips, so he just put it there and there, and he went ahead and he went to bed and he zipped it up. Well, here's this pig comes along, boar comes along, and it starts sniffing around, and of course he reacts. He says, "Get away!" And of course he scares it, and as the hog turns, he snags that bag and he's running. And of course he's yelling and he's running, and he's getting dragged all over the place. So he gets all bruised up. True story, folks. I can't make stuff like this up. This really happened. Now, you know, as I think about that story, um, you know, there's lessons to be learned there. First of all, don't get into your mummy sack with food, because you might get dragged around by a boar. That's the obvious one. But there's something more important in there, and it's more intrinsic to our lives, I think. And that is this: when somebody that's been around tells you something, it's wise to listen to them. You see, and I can't even remember the fellow's name. But I do know this. I do know that he didn't listen to those of us that have been around, and he got some abrasions. And other people that didn't do what he did, but they listened to what we said, they learned. They learned, that's it. That's why. But more importantly is, think of all the people that probably went to bed that night and they had crackers or pretzels or whatever it was, and they got away with murder. They didn't get caught by a boar. Well, here's the deal. Most of them probably thought, I got lucky. That boar could have been in my bag, but it was over there at his. And here's the principle I'd like to lean into. Just because you've gotten lucky at something in the past doesn't mean you're going to be lucky in the future. What's a wiser thing to do is, if you always do things the right way for the right reason, you will be consistent. And if you're consistent, that beats just being lucky. You know, it's the old saying of, I'd rather be lucky than good anytime. Well, that's okay for winning the lottery, but it's not good in life. So here's my challenge to y'all. Ready? Listen to people that have gone before you. If you haven't listened to people in the past, learn from the mistakes of others and be successful. For you to become successful, here's a way that you might be able to find leadership. Check out this website, www.easysteps123.com. See you next time. Bye.